I'm now joined by Joe Proctor. Joe's coming off a win at UFC Fight Night 36 over Christiano Marcello by unanimous decision, taking his overall record to 9-2 and his UFC record to 2-1. Joe, thank you very much for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And congratulations on another UFC victory.
Thank you very much.
Pick up on a few things then with regards to the fight. First thing I want to pick up on is obviously you've been out for a long time. What was the reason you were out for, and what was it like to finally get back in the cage, and how did you feel?
I was actually out. I had shoulder surgery. After the Ramsey fight, I hurt my shoulder pretty bad. But I was actually supposed to fight Ally Quinter in New Jersey. And, I was kind of putting that pain aside. I really wanted to get back in there and get that loss off my record. But, it was just pushing, and my shoulder just didn't want to hold up, and then I broke two. So I just, I looked at it as a sign where, this fight wasn't supposed to happen. So I ended up getting labrum surgery on my left shoulder. So I had to do all that good recovery and stuff. And I felt great after. So, I called up and asked for a fight, and they gave me Christiano.
Now, one of the things that stood out, of course, with the fight, or the build of the fight, was that you and him were both on The Ultimate Fighter, and you both got on really well. So what was it like facing someone that you actually get on with?
It actually wasn't too bad. I actually talk to Christiano all the time, on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. And as soon as we got the fight, we knew it was both business. So we both told each other, we're friends before, we'll be friends after. No matter what happens in the fight, let's just go out there and, basically kick the crap out of each other.
Which, of course, is what he did. Now, we know Marcello's got a great ground game. But we also know he likes to stand and trade as well. So what was your game plan going into the fight?
My game plan was to stand up with him. I know he's got great BJJ, but I wasn't too worried about going to the ground. I train with Joe Proctor, and he's one of the best 55ers I think at MMA grappling. And I train with him all the time, so I feel comfortable on the ground. So it wasn't a huge mistake if I took him down or he took me down, but for the most part, we wanted to keep it standing, pick him apart, and hopefully look for that knockout.
Yeah, I think it made for an exciting fight. We're going to pick up on some of the ground game moments. Now, you had him in a guillotine. How tight was it, and were you surprised you didn't get the finish?
I went for a few guillotines. There was one I had his back on the cage, and it was very tight, very, very tight. And I thought I was going to finish him, but there's that BJJ black belt coming in, and he knew how to fend right, and he got out of it, but I thought it was pretty tight.
And how tight was the footlock as well? Because that looked pretty painful.
The footlock was tight. It had me worried for a second, but I'm not going to go out that easy. If you're gonna have to break my foot before you get a tap out of me.
Yeah, we know that from seeing you, of course, fighting in the past. When it went to the judges then, knowing the way sometimes the judges are scoring, but knowing how that fight went, how confident were you that you'd got the decision?
I felt like I did enough to win the fight. I knew I lost the first round. The second round, I'm pretty sure I won. I knew it was pretty close, but the third round, I picked up my game. I took everything I had, and I told myself the last 5 minutes, go for it all. And, I picked him apart the whole the third round, and I was pretty confident, but, the judges aren't always on their game lately, so I had a little bit of nerves in me, especially being in Brazil and being in his hometown.
Now, obviously, with you being out for over a year and coming back, it was obviously always going to be a tough fight. How did you feel then? Was there any ring rust, or did you just feel, straight back to normal again?
I felt pretty good. I actually didn't believe in ring rust, but to be honest, I got into that first round, and as soon as we both collided, I kind of got that initial adrenaline dump, I guess you can say, and I came back after the first, and I felt a little tired. It wasn't condition wise, but I just felt a little tired. I wasn't used to that kind of I guess you could say pressure and all that good stuff, but maybe I had a little ring rust in the first round, but I overcame that, and I came back stronger in the second and third.
Now, obviously, with a 3-round fight, one of the things you always worry about, of course, is picking up any knocks or injuries. So, did you pick up any knocks or injuries? How were you feeling after the fight, and when would you like to get back in and compete again?
I came up pretty healthy. You know, I had a couple little lumps, and but nothing major. You know, things that will heal in a couple weeks. But you know, I'd like to get back in there. You know, probably in a couple months or two. You know, there's still some stuff I want to work on. You know, I want to get my hands a little bit better. You know, and work a little bit more on finishing. You know, that's what everybody wants to see. The fans want to see finishes. So I want to start working that a little bit more. So I'd like to get back in there. You know, maybe in 2 or 3 months.
Coming off a win as well, have you got an idea on anyone you'd like to face?
No, I actually don't. I haven't a clue who I want to face. But you know, I'm always right there, ready to fight. You know, whoever Joe Silva and Dana and Fertitta want to throw at me, you know, I'm always willing to go for it.
Now, I want to ask you about something else that's been in the news recently, and I think this is something that will impact you. There's been a lot of talk about the UFC introducing a uniform, and it's to help with sponsorship. What are your views on that? Is that something that would benefit you as a fighter?
You know, I saw that, but you know, I haven't really seen any of the details. You know, I don't know if I mean, I wouldn't mind uniform. You know, I mean, it is what it is, and but you know, I'd like to make that extra sponsor money. You know, it's kind of tough. You know, where you know, lower class fighters. You know, we're not making a ton. You know, we put a lot of time and effort, and you know, we take work off, and you know, it costs money to train. You know, so it's nice to get that extra, you know, couple $1,000 for sponsors, you know, depending on where you are on the card. But, you know, if the UFC, you know, will throw us some money to wear the uniforms, you know, I'm down for it. You know, it doesn't matter to me.
I agree. I read into it, and the thing that stood out to me was it meant more money for the guys lower down the card, which I personally thought, you know, think is obviously a good thing. Now,
Right.
I really appreciate you giving me your time. It's been great having a chat with you. Before we let you go, I just want to give you a chance to do any shout-outs. So you want to shout out your Facebook and your Twitter, and also any friends, family, sponsors?
Yeah, you know, I like everybody hit me up on my Twitter. It's at Joe Proctor. You can go like my fan page. It's also Joe Proctor. And yeah, you know, I just want to thank all my fans and everywhere around the world that's had my back for this fight and all my training camps. And I want to thank everyone at Lowe's MMA and Team Aggression to help me get ready for my fight.
Well, I thank you very much for your time, and I can't wait to see you step back into the cage again.
Thank you very much, Dre.